Hi, welcome to Press Pause. That will take place every Monday, a time when we will press pause for a few minutes from our fast forwarding society to reflect, to be refreshed, and to receive from God. Today, it's time for a 6-month checkup. It's almost 6 months since the pandemic was called on March the 11th of this year. And as of mid-March, most of the world went into lockdown. Many have lost their jobs. Others have been laid off, not knowing when they'd be recalled to work. And others are now working from home or at a different place of employment. The workplace has changed drastically. Our 2 sons have been greatly affected by these changes in the workplace, causing financial uncertainty in their lives. Many have been affected, and with government programs coming to an end, many are wondering where their help will come from. I have been reading the book of Exodus. The whole story of Israel's deliverance from Egypt is simply amazing. And after the 10th plague, Pharaoh finally agreed to Israel leaving Egypt. But what a task Moses had before him. There were over 2 million Israelites that left Egypt. Think about it. The island of Montreal has a population of over 2 million. And can you imagine leading that many people out of Egypt? The Israelites left Egypt in a hurry. They took what they could. Exodus 12:34-36 say, "So the people took their dough before the yeast was added. They wrapped the bowls for making dough in clothing and carried them on their shoulders. The Israelites did what Moses told them to do and asked their Egyptian neighbors for things made of silver and gold and for clothing. So the Israelites took rich gifts from the Egyptians. They left Egypt with dough in their pots, clothing, and the gifts that the Egyptians gave them. They left Goshen, a fertile territory in Egypt where they were able to have gardens and grow their food, and there was grass to feed their herds. And what did Moses do? He led them into the desert, a dry, barren place." When you think of it, the desert doesn't have much to offer. So how were all these people going to find enough food to eat? And where would they find water to drink in a desert? And it is not long before they started complaining. Exodus 16 says, "The Israelites said to Moses and Aaron, 'If only we had died by the Lord's hand in Egypt. There we sat around pots of meat and ate all the food we wanted. But you have brought us out into the desert to starve this entire assembly to death.'" Exodus 17:2-3 say, "So they quarreled with Moses and said, 'Give us water to drink.' But the people were thirsty for water there, and they grumbled against Moses. They said, 'Why did you bring us up out of Egypt to make us and our children and livestock die of thirst?'" You know, God was leading them, and He led them to the desert. God definitely had a plan, but the Israelites were not so sure about the intentions of their God. Could they trust Him to meet their basic needs? In both situations, God was more than faithful in what seemed to be a hopeless situation for over 2 million people and their livestock. He provided. He provided food in the desert, manna in the morning, and quail in the evening. They were to collect only what was needed for that day, because the next day there would be more. A good lesson on trust and obedience. And for their thirst, He provided water from a rock. God alone was their provider. They may have been focused on their physical needs, but God was trying to teach the Israelites who He was, Jehovah Jireh, their provider. And the same can be said of Him today. He is our provider. He has promised to meet every one of our needs. Therefore, you can count on Him. Philippians 4:19 says, "And my God will meet all your needs according to his glorious riches in Christ Jesus. So, I don't know how you have been affected by this pandemic. Perhaps you have experienced loss of income. Perhaps you are wondering what the future will hold. I want to assure you that the Lord our God is our provider. He is Jehovah Jireh. And though you may feel like you are walking in the desert, he will provide the manna, the quail, and the water that you are needing. He will take care of your necessities. Will you trust him today to be your provider, Jehovah Jireh?